Hello everyone and welcome to Lovella's Coloring. Thank you so much for stopping by. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you part 9 of all of my completed colorings collection series. And so in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the rest of my Amazon printed coloring books with completed colorings in them. So as always, I never know how long these videos are going to take me to record, so I hope that you guys have a snack and or a drink, and most of all I hope that you guys enjoy. So I'm going to go ahead and clear off my desk and we will get started. I will see you guys in a second. Enjoy. So I'm going to start off with Nice Little Town 3, and this is illustrated by Tanya Bogima Stolova, and this is my first coloring book from her, and the first page I colored in here, I think it's the only one I did, was this one. And so this, I think, is one of the first few pages that I colored in a Amazon printed coloring book where I used alcohol markers as a base. I started off with the Lemmerche marker set, alcohol marker set, and so in this page I was testing it out as a base using several different kinds of pencils on top, like the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils, Faber-Castell Polychromos, Erosion, the Tombow Erosion, Caran d'Ache Pablos, and Crayola colored pencils. I even used the Kohinoor Polycolor and the Tritones. So the Tritones, I did use them on the wood, and yeah, I really liked the result. And then after that I just kept on going with the alcohol as a base and pencils on top. So you're going to see that as a theme with a lot of my Amazon printed coloring books. So for this page I also added some Posca, and that is the white Posca. I don't think I used any gel pens, mostly just the pencils, alcohol markers, and then the white Posca. So that is my completed coloring in the Nice Little Town 3 by Tanya Bogima Stolova. I have one more book from Tatiana Bogima Stolova. This one is Nice Little Town Christmas 2, and in this one I colored this page again with an alcohol base, and then for pencils I used the Faber-Castell Polychromos. The embellishments that I used here is the white Posca to go around the fur on the jacket, Uniball Signo Silver there, and then there is also some Pentel Sparkle Pop on the ladybug, teapot, and the blanket. So yeah, it's very cute Christmas picture. So this one is again Nice Little Town Christmas 2 by Tatiana Bogima Stolova. Next I have the Guardians of the Enchanted Forest, and this is illustrated by Forest Diver, and I colored the title page in here. And for this one, instead of using the Lemmerche alcohol markers, I used the Bic marking and the Sharpies to lay it down as a base, and then I used the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils to color it in, and then the background is just the Muñoz soft pastel. And I think I also used some white gel pen. Usually the white gel pen bleeds into like the reds, especially if it's alcohol marker. So again, this is the Guardians of the Enchanted Forest by Forest Diver. Next I have 50 Winter Miniatures by Camelia Angelkova, and I colored the nameplate page, and this one I believe is around the same time that I first got the Ohuhu brush marker, so I was trying to use that alone to blend it in this page. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. Wasn't sure of how to color this, but it came out I think all right. And the glitter that you see on this part, that is the Flare brand of glitter gel pen. And yeah, I think that's all I did in this one. It's just the nameplate page. So that is the completed coloring in 50 Winter Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. My next book by Camellia is 50 Autumn Miniatures, and the page that I colored in here is this pumpkin with ghosts on it. And yes, this was a fun page to color. I believe I did this as a buddy color, and for this page I did a base again of alcohol markers. I used the machine Ohuhu and Artex, and the pencils that I used is the Crayola colored pencils. And then for embellishments I used the white Posca, which is just to outline the kitty ghosts and the stars in the background, and then some Sakura metallic for the buckle. And then I did draw in a frame for this one, so I didn't have to color the whole background. And because of this coloring, I did do a tutorial or a how I color ghosts, so I'll show you the page that I used. So again, this is the 50 Autumn Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. So in Camellia's other book, this is 50 Halloween Miniatures, I used a page in here to share how I color ghosts. So I'll go ahead and leave the link up here if you want to check that out. And so with this page, again, a base of alcohol markers. I used colored pencils called Cezanne 2 on top. For the ghosts, I added white Prismacolor Premier colored pencils to shade in the ghosts, and then white Posca for the background and to line up the ghosts. So yeah, I think that is it. So that's my completed coloring in 50 Halloween Miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. And the last from Camellia Angelkova, this is 50 Spring Miniatures, and the page I colored is this one, which I did as a buddy color with Rage, Mini Rage. And so with this one, I also framed it with the background done with the Munoz Soft Pastel alcohol base, using the Black Widow colored pencils to color it in. And then on the, I believe these are Snowdrop flowers, I outlined the black lines with white Posca. And yeah, so that is my completed coloring in 50 Spring Miniatures. My next books are from Jade Summers. This one is Grayscale, 2 books in 1. And this is one of those books from Amazon that curls and never straightens. So this one, I purchased this back in 2019, and it still likes to bend and will not straighten out. I've tried, but very annoying, but I still color in here. I don't want to buy another book, so I'll show this one first. So this one was done as a buddy color with the lovely Emily, and I called this, I think, my Pride and Prejudice and Vampires, because of the vampire painting in the background. So this one, I use alcohol again as a base with Faber-Castell Polychromos to shade it in a little bit, especially on their faces. And I used Uniball Stigno Gold, I think, for the earring and for his buttons, and then white Posca, just a little bit. So that's the first one. Then I have one more, I believe. Yeah, one more, which is this one. And in this page, again, alcohol markers, lots of white Posca outlined on the clouds, the feathers, and the birds. And then Zig Wink of Stella on her dress. I think I put some on the beak of the bird and the feet. I did add some stickles here, and then I think I forgot that it was still wet, and so I got some on her hair. But yeah, very, very cute. So those are my colorings in the Grayscale 2 Books in 1 Chibi Girls by Jade Summer. My next one by Jade Summer is Light and Dark Fantasy, another grayscale coloring book. So the first is this one, which again I did an alcohol base. I use Crayola colored pencils, Tombow Rogeton, Luminance. I think I used Luminance for her skin, and Prismacolor. I did use a little bit of white Posca in her eye, and then on the clouds, Zig Wink of Stella and Stickles, and some glitter gel pens for all of that sparkle. Yeah, and then the other one that I colored is this one right here. Another one based with alcohol markers, and then I used the Arteza Expert colored pencils to shade this one in. So I believe those are the two. Yeah. So those are my colorings in Light and Dark Fantasy, Grayscale by Jade Summer. My next book by Jade Summer is Kawaii. This is another grayscale coloring book, and I believe this one is the 2-in-1 coloring book. And so I did this page right over here. I used several different kinds of mediums for this one. Alcohol markers as a base. I used the Jane Davenport pastel, the birthday suit for her skin. I used the Holbein Artist colored pencils to color in. I'm not sure where. And then I used white Posca, the Colero brand of pearl watercolor called Fairy Tale. I think I used that on the horn of the unicorn and the little pearls on the frame. And also the Sakura metallic and stickles on the flowers and on her charm, her necklace. And yeah, so that is my completed coloring in Kawaii Grayscale by Jade Summer. My next one is the Chibi Horror Jade Summer coloring book. Another one. This one is worse. It's about the same, still curls. But I did one page in here, which is this one. And I forgot to write down what pencils I used, but it is an alcohol base. For the crowns, I used the Kuretake Gansai Tambi gold starry colors. And I think the pink one here is the gem color. And then there is some Sakura Sparkle Pop. Is it Sparkle Pop? On the dress. And then white Posca. And that is my completed coloring in Chibi Horror by Jade Summer. And the last of the Jade Summer books I'm going to share is Chibi Christmas. And in this one, I colored this page. And I did this as a buddy color also. And so I used alcohol as a base again. I used the Derwent Pro Color and the Black Widow sets to color it in. I used some Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils for the lights. Lots of white Posca and gold Posca. Some stickles on the tree back here. And then Sakura Stardust. I believe on here. So the white Posca I also added on the scarves. I created like a little plaid. That's the gold one in here, and the white on this one. But yeah, very cute picture. So I do have more Jade Summer colorings, but I cut them out of the book and I gifted those books. There's like several of them that I gifted to my nieces because they love the chibi and anime coloring books. I did have PDFs of each of those books that I gave away, so I cut them out and they're in a PDF folder, so I'm going to share that in the next video, which is going to be the final part of this series. So again, this is Chibi Christmas by Jade Summer. My next book is the Broken Circles adult coloring book. This is 2, so I guess there's a part 1. This is the only book that I have by Tabitha L. Barnett, and I wanted to pick one from her just to have one of her books in my collection. And the reason why I picked hers is because this one had a theme of fairy tale characters, nursery rhymes, and it also had the black and the white background. So the page I colored in here is the Little Mermaid page, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Markers, mostly as a base, and then the glitter gel pens and Nouveau glitter markers for the embellishment, and white Posca. So that is my completed coloring in Broken Circles 2 by Tabitha L. Barnett. Next, I have Myths and Monsters. This is illustrated by M. Patrick Dugan. This is volume 1, and the page I colored in here is Diana, Artemis, and yeah, I had a lot of fun coloring in her hair using the Ohuhu brush markers. I wanted to see if I can make a little galaxy effect for her hair, and for the stars in her hair, I used the white Posca and the Sakura white jelly roll, and you can see that there are more like darker white dots, and that is the constellations that I drew in that are under Artemis. So there's one here, and one down here, and I believe this is Orion. I can't remember. I couldn't draw the whole thing, so I made it look like it was behind her. And yeah, so for this page, I did a base of Ohuhu brush markers using the Faber-Castell Polychromos to shade her in, and then some Sakura metallic for the string of her bow, her necklace, and the star. So again, this is Diana, Artemis in Myths and Monsters by M. Patrick Dugan. My next book is the Coloring Book of Forgotten Dreams by Matthew Maynard, and the page I colored in here is this one, which is the Reading Under the Solferio Tree. And I think I looked up what a solferio tree, and I think it came up that it was this color, I think. So this was done with a base of Derwent ink tints, and then I used both the Faber-Castell Gold Faber and the Polychromos to color this page in. I did use some Distress Oxide, I believe down here. The top part was done with the Munoz Soft Pastel. I used white acrylic to splatter on here for snow, and I used white Posca to line the bushes. I think I created this. I don't think there was any bushes in there. I don't think. Let me see. No, I added that in. And then some stickles for these little those big snowflakes in the front. And yeah, so that is my completed coloring in the Coloring Book of Forgotten Dreams by Matthew Maynard. Next is the awesome Pokemon coloring book by Joydom Coloring. I don't know if this is still being sold on Amazon. This was gifted to me from my cousin. So I colored this page, which is the evolution of Eevee. And so this was done with a base of alcohol markers, and I used Prismacolor Premier colored pencils to shade this one in. Yeah, very cute page. So this one is again the awesome Pokemon coloring book by Joydom Coloring. Next, I have this very thick book called Grand Fashion Coloring Book for Girls, Cute Modern Design Styles. I don't know who this is from. If I can remember. If I can find it, I'll put it up here on the screen. And so the page I did in here is this one. And I think I was trying out blending with the Ohuhu brush markers. So I know now not to use it so much, or else it turns out a little bit blotchy, especially on the skin, and to just go one round with the darker colors. So yeah, and I think the only other thing I added on here is the Sakura Stardust, which I just used on here on the bike. So that is my completed coloring in the Grand Fashion Coloring Book for girls. Next, I have Hello Autumn Coloring Book for Adults by Demita Victoria. This book was a gift from T, so we did a buddy color in this page. And for this one, I did a base of alcohol markers. And with the pencils, I used Cezanne 2. I used several different Poscas, the white, gold, and silver for accents, and then some Sakura white jelly roll. I didn't use any glitter on this page. So yeah, so that is my first completed page in the Hello Autumn Coloring Book by Demita Victoria. I have one more by Demita. This is Fantastic Beauties, Book 2 and Grayscale Edition, but I think they only have the Grayscale Edition. So the page I colored is this one, and I think I did this as a buddy color too with T. So another page base with alcohol markers. For pencils, I used both the Black Widow colored pencils and the Faber-Castell Polychromos, and white Posca to line the flowers with lots of stickles on her crown and on her dress. And yeah, I think it was a lot of fun coloring this. I think I have a page of how it looks before the grayscale, and then this is how it looks afterwards. So yeah, a lot of fun coloring this one. This is Book 2, Fantastic Beauties by Demita Victoria. Next, I have Cute Pets and Animals Coloring Book. This is by Draw Tencel. And I did this page, the panda page, and this is so cute. I have to get back to this book again. So this one I think I did as a speed coloring. I did do a flip through of this book, so I'll go ahead and put it up here at the top if you want to check it out. So alcohol base, and then the pencils I used is both the Kohinoor Polycolor and the Tritone. I did use some white Posca to go over the lines, and then the Uniball Signo Metallic, I think silver, to go over the lines on the border. Super cute. So that is my coloring in Cute Pets and Animals by Draw Tencel. I have another by Draw Tencel. So this book and the Cute Animals book were both sent to me by him to share on my channel. So I do have videos for both of them and a speed coloring for the page I colored. So again, it'll be up above on the right hand corner if you want to check out these videos. So the page I colored in here is this one. And again, with a base of alcohol markers, the pencils I used is the Castle Art colored pencils. I used white Posca for the background, some in her eye, a lot of the Posca gold for the border, for the details in her outfit, some Sakura glaze to give her some black nails. The glitter here is the Aeon Art glitter gel pen, and then on the blue parts here I put some Zig Wink of Stella. Okay, so that is my completed coloring in Witches with Hats by Draw Tencel. Next, I have Color My Sketchbook Dragons by Bennett Klein and May Klein. And the page I colored in here is this one. And yeah, I think I got this before I had any, yeah, 2017. So this was before I had any alcohol markers. So this was done with pencils. And yeah, I did this with the Crayola colored pencils. And I love how it looks. It was just a lot of heavy blending, hard pressure, and so it really killed my hands, but I really like how this one looks. And then the background is outlined with the metallic gel pen. Very cute page. So that is my completed coloring in Color My Sketchbook Dragons by Bennett, Klein and May Klein. Next, I have Kawaii Fairies Spring Adult Coloring Book. This is by Art of Kawaii, I believe. And the page I did in here is this one. And so, very cute spring page. So again, base of alcohol markers. The pencils I used is the Sargent Art Supreme colored pencils. And for embellishments, to do this kind of like glittery effect, I used white Posca, white Sakura Jelly Roll, Tombow dual tip markers, Staedtler double-ended markers, and the Crayola super tips. And yeah, this is like a glitter effect that I learned from May Brox, and kind of like, yeah, testing out different colors to use. I did also do a video sharing how I did the eggs, so hopefully I can fit enough links in this video. I'll put it up above. If I can't, I'll leave it down below in the video description. So this is my completed coloring in Kawaii Fairy Spring from Art of Kawaii. Next, I have Chibi Girls Coloring Book. This is by Sugar Kai, and the page I colored in here is the mermaid, alcohol base with Klein colored pencils to shade her in, and then I used the white Posca and the Sakura white jelly roll just for the little dots in her tail and on these, I think, sea anemones and the seashell. So that is my completed coloring in Chibi Girls by Sugar Kai. My next coloring book is Chibi Girls Coloring Book Volume 1 by April Amber. This was a Happy Mail gift from Serenity, who also gifted me Lyra Aqua Color, so I used that to use as the background for this page. And yeah, there's something different about this one than my usual Amazon printed coloring books. This one is a little bit thicker, a lot more slick, and so when I used like the watercolor crayons on here, it minimum warping and it flattened out. Still, you know, better than most alcohol or most Amazon printed books. So I don't know where this is printed at, but I wish they would do this with a lot of their coloring books. So this is where it's printed. I have no idea where, but it's somewhere in the USA. So this one, again, done with the Lyra Aqua Color in the background. I did use alcohol markers and also the Tombow dual tip brush marker. For pencils, I used the Arteza Expert Colored pencils. And then for embellishment, I used Stickles, white Posca, and Sakura Stardust Jelly Roll. You can see it in her outfit. I drew those little flowers for her kimono. Yeah, very, very cute. So that is my completed coloring in Chibi Girls Volume 1 by April Amber. I have another April Amber coloring book. This is Chibi Girls Volume 2. And this page I did as a buddy color with Mini Rach. And again, base of alcohol markers. For pencils, I used the Crayola colored pencils. The moon and the stars were done with a watercolor called CSY, and then lots of Posca. I think I also used some Sakura Stardust for the pink glitter on the band-aid. And yeah, I think that's it. I like how her eyes are red. Yeah. Very cute. So that's the first one. I have one more, which is another Halloweeny page. It's this cute vampire. So again, alcohol markers, and I think that's it. That's all I use. Alcohol markers, and then the moon is done with the Gansai Tambi Starry color. I use stickles on the stars, and then Zig Wink of Stella on her cape. Yeah, so those are my colorings in Chibi Girls Volume 2 by April Amber. I have one more by April Amber. This is Chibi Girls Halloween, and the page I colored in here is this one. And this one I used majority of it's alcohol markers. I did use a little bit of the Stabilo Carbothello to add highlights, white Posca, lots of Sakura Stardust for accents, and I think this might be the Gansai Tambi Starry color for the moon, and white Posca. Yeah, I can feel the pastel from here. So this is my completed page in Halloween by April Amber. And here I have Daisy Joy's Little Witches coloring book. The page I colored in here is this one. And on this page, alcohol markers as a base. The pencils I used is the Muji colored pencils. And in the gold and her jewelry and the pot, I used the Gansai Tambi Starry colors, and then for these two is the Gansai Tambi I think it's the gem colors, I believe, with the Sakura glaze on top. There is white Posca, gold Posca, silver Posca as embellishments. So that is my completed coloring in Daisy Joy's Little Witches coloring book. Next I have Chibi coloring book volume 1 by Audrey Willis. And so I do this as a split coloring with my daughter, but we kind of like stalled. So this is the only page that we completed. My daughter did this side and I did this side, both alcohol markers, and I think she embellished hers with some glitter gel pens. And I just did this right over here. I think that's either a wand. I thought it was umbrella. And the bubble and the little star over there. She did like little wispy here and then around the puddles. But yeah, that's our split page, and we have another one. We just never got around to working on it, so yeah, I still have to work on mine. So again, this is the Chibi coloring book volume 1 by Audrey Willis. Next I have Kawaii Witch coloring book. I believe this is by Larissa May Marinas, and here is the page that I colored. Super cute, based with alcohol markers. And then I did use some distress ink to darken up the background a little bit, and also the floor. I forgot to write down what I used on here. Colored pencils on top with some Zig Wink of Stella on her hat, skirt, and tights, and then lots of stickles here. You can see that I did not wait for it to dry before I closed it. Keep forgetting that they need to sit out and dry for a little bit. So that is my completed coloring in Kawaii Witch coloring book by Larissa May Marinas. My next coloring book is Woodland Wonder. This is by Jen Racine, and the page I colored in here is this cute one, and done all with alcohol markers. I did shade it a little bit here, and just some white Posca for accents for drawing over the lines, giving him some whiskers. And yeah, very, very fun, cute book to color. I need to get back in here. So that is my completed coloring in Woodland Wonder by Jen Racine. My next coloring book is Dragons with Pets. This is by Becca Gollins. On Etsy, I believe her Etsy store is Dragons and Beasties. Down below in the video description, I'll try to put down her Etsy store, because you can get her books as a PDF. She does have several, but I think one of her books was like double-sided, so I kind of refrained and just stuck with this. I do want to get her PDF books though. So the page I colored in here, I think I did two, is this one, and I forgot to write what I used. So I did do a base of alcohol markers. I know the background is with the Munoz soft pastels. I'm not sure what pencils I used to shade it in, but I also used a lot of white Posca. So this is a winter scene with penguins, super cute. And then I have one more in here, which is this one. Again, forgot to write down what I used, but alcohol markers as a base with pencils on top with white Posca for accents. Very cute. A snake. And then the background is done with the Munoz soft pastel. So again, this is Dragons with Pets by Becca Gollins, or Dragons and Beasties. Next, I have Color Some Cuteness, the Christmas edition. This is by Black River Art, and the page I colored in here is this one. Very cute. So this one was a base of alcohol markers. I used the Muji colored pencils to shade it in, and some Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. And for this part, these forgot what you call those from the Christmas tree, but I used the Tombow dual brush markers to color that in. The background is done with the Munoz soft pastel, and then I have a little bit of white Posca for whiskers. And I think, and Zig Wink of Stella on the ribbon. And that is my completed coloring in Color Some Cuteness Christmas edition by Black River Art. Next, I have Cute Coloring Book for Adults and Teens, and this is by Cindy El Sharoni, I believe. And the page I colored in here is this one as a buddy color with tea. So the background is done with the Munoz soft pastel, alcohol markers as a base. The pencils I used are the Koh-i-Noor Polycolor and the Spirofarben. And then I outlined this creature with beige Posca, and then other accents were done with white Posca. For the horn, tail, and the hooves, I used the Gansai Tambi Pearl watercolor, and then I also used some Aeon Art glitter gel pen for accents on the flowers and butterfly. Very cute. So that is my coloring in the Cute Coloring Book for Adults and Teens by Cindy El Sharoni. And next I have Autumn Magic. This is by Edwina McNamee, I believe. Yes. McNamee, yes. And this was a book that was a D-stash from someone else's coloring book collection. They gifted it to me, so thank you, Natalie. And yeah, I love this book. This is my only book by Edwina, I think. I believe. I think this is the only one. So the page I did in here is this one. I did this as a buddy color with my good friend Kelly. And so this one, based with alcohol markers, I used the Klein colored pencils to color it in. And for accents, I used the Gansai Tambi starry colors for the stars, Nouveau glitters for the shiny dots going all around, and then also for these jars or vials. And silver and white Posca, and also gold Posca over here. Yeah, very cute. So that is my completed coloring in Autumn Magic by Edwina McNamee. My last book to share with you is Woodland Hygge. I believe I pronounced that right. Yeah, Hygge. And this is illustrated by Debbie Densham, and such a cute book. This is one that I don't even need to shade in. I just straight color on here. I think it's nice when you have a nice color palette for this kind of illustration. It makes it look so pretty. So for the pages I'm going to share with you in this one, I just used the Sharpie's Mystic Gems set. So here is the nameplate page. I colored the next one. And yeah, you can see I don't need to shade it in or anything. Just the color palette alone with this very pretty illustration. It's nice and complete. And then the next one is this one. Very pretty colors in this Sharpie set. So, and very cute illustrations. So those are my 3 colorings. And Woodland Hygge by Debbie Densham, and the last for this part of all of my completed colorings. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing this part of all of my completed colorings. I will have one more to go, so that makes it an even 10 for this series. So in the final part, that video, I am going to share with you any books that I may have missed and my PDF colorings. And so I do plan to work on that next as soon as this one is up on my channel. So I hope you look out for that final part. So I want to give a big thank you to all of you for watching this series, for watching my videos, for liking them, and for your comments. I am planning to answer each and every one of you back as soon as our move is done and everything has calmed down. I do try to jump in and answer some of the comments, but I always get distracted and something always comes up, with everyone home. So I thank you all so much for your patience and for your continued support. So I will leave you guys. I hope you all are having a safe, cool summer or warm summer wherever you are, and I'm sending you all lots of love and big hugs. I will see you all in my next video. Please take care, keep safe, and happy colorings, my friends. Bye bye.